Hello, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Dominic, or D for short, 1E, and this is my place. It's a safe space I created to talk about life, real life, no filter, no judgment. If you're joining me for the first time, here's a look at what we've talked about previously. That's his fault. Let that be his fault. That ain't your problem. Don't make it your problem. I mean, how long do you have to be in something to realize this is who that person is and this is what that person is giving? Because you don't want to be by yourself forever. When it's meant to be, it will be. And oh, I'm still married. Even though I'm divorced, I still want to be in that life. Because we're women. We're supposed to be that way. Oh, you know, this is my natural. I'm platinum inside. And if you've been with me before, thank you for tuning in again. I really appreciate your support. So, let's jump right into this week's episode. I am just so excited to be here, and I am to be here, like physically here, but spiritually here, emotionally here. I am so glad to be here. So, how did I get here? One, I had a real conversation with myself, and I do mean real conversation with myself. Yeah. Two, I, just trying to understand everything that did happen. I went through and I just listed all of the questions that I had, and I realized that the reason thoughts kept coming up is because I had unanswered questions, and that's probably what happens when going through loss or going through any type of loss, really. You constantly think about the things that you can't answer and the things that, the questions that you have. So I went through the list of all of the questions that I had, and I wrote them all down. And for all the ones I could answer, I answered them. And for all the ones that I couldn't answer, I categorized them. And for all the things that I knew, it's done. Question resolved, like nothing to do with that. That's done and over. Then I was left with a set of questions that it's like, I don't know the answer to these questions. I don't know. And I don't know. And since I'm not going to ask, these are going to be questions I'll never have the answer to. And instead of continuing to have them, stop and let it go. So I was reminded, in going through that exercise and thinking about that exercise, I was reminded of dealing with the death of my dad. And I'm a daddy's girl. Love my mom, absolutely love my mom. But she knows and I know that I was a daddy's girl. And so that was hard on me. That was hard for me. And so I suppressed that. Didn't realize I suppressed it until a perfect stranger took it upon herself to tell me that I was suppressing something. And then I realized that's what it was. And so I suppressed dealing with the loss of my dad until I said I was no longer going to do that. I was going to go through the process of accepting it and living with it and being okay with it. And so in that process, I was thinking even then about, what am I going to do? I used to talk to my dad about these things. And when issues came up with guys, I would go to my dad and I would talk to him and he would give me really good advice, or he would just tell me certain things, or he would tell me about me, and so I, of course, not having him here and having all those concerns and those thoughts, it kind of did like this whirlwind effect of, oh my gosh, I really miss him right now. And so it made me miss him more because I had life going on and I didn't have him here to like talk me through it or help me with it or just be there. And so one morning I was cascading, cascade a lot, don't I? I was cascading, and I don't know where it came from, quite honestly. I don't know where it came from, but it hit me that for the things that you can't figure out on your own, you're just going to have to trust God. And instantly, all of the worry and all the thoughts about what was going on in my life and what I really wanted to talk to my dad about at the moment, and all of that just went away. And I know it sounds magical or it sounds unrealistic or, it doesn't matter what it sounds. That's really what happened, because at that point, it's like, it's no longer on me. I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to have the answers. I don't have to know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen. All I have to do is trust God. So, when I was going through the things, when I was dealing with, my dad and getting through that, I went to church and my pastor preached a message that day, and I don't remember all of it, but I do remember it was Joshua, because I love Joshua, love the name Joshua. And he was talking about when Joshua and the Israelites crossed the Jordan and how God told them to take up 12 stones and to take up the 12 stones so that they could be remembrance for that God brought them through that. And so every time they looked at those stones, they would remember that God brought them through the Jordan into the promised land. And so his directive for that Sunday was for us to find our stones. Like, what are our stones? And so, it was very helpful. I was going through this whole thing about, just what am I going to do in life and blah, 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 blah. And so I said, I buy shoes when I'm going through things. Yes, I am one of those emotional shoppers. Sometimes I don't really buy a lot of stuff when I'm going through things, but I will go get a pair of shoes. And so I said, from now on, when I come out, I'm going to buy shoes. I'm going to buy a pair of shoes, and those will be my stones. And I'll remember when I put on those shoes, or when I see them, I'll remember that was my stone for whatever that coming out was. And so when I had the epiphany about, some things you won't know, you won't understand. And for those things, you just have to trust God. I went and bought a pair of shoes. Actually, I went back home and I went to spend some time with my family, and I went to my dad's gravesite, which I hadn't done in years. And I just spent time out there, and then I bought shoes from home. And those shoes were I call them my trust God shoes. And so I actually wrote on the bottom of them, trust God. Trust God. So these are my trust God shoes. And these are the shoes that I bought when I came out of the Cascade from just trying to figure out, what am I going to do about life now? And accepting the fact that my dad has gone on and he is not here to help me with this situation. And I hadn't worn them. I hadn't worn them ever until today. And so today I'm just going about life, going about business, and going about life, and just getting to just be normal. And so I thought about all of those questions and that I categorized as the you just won't know. And even the concerns of, well, how do I know that somebody else won't treat me this way? Or how do I know that somebody else won't do this to me, or won't reject me, or misjudge me, or count me out? And I was reminded when I grabbed my shoes for those things, you're just gonna have to trust God. And again, it's relief. It's I don't know the future, and I don't have all the answers, and I don't know what tomorrow will be like, or what the next person will do, or who the next person will be. But for that, I'm going to have to trust God. And even if I can't trust people, I can still trust him. And it's not like I didn't know these things before, or maybe I just had to go through the whole process of accepting it and going through it and understanding it to get to the point where I've understood everything I can. And now this I know, I just don't understand, and that's okay. Quite honestly, what gets us, I believe, is the illusion of control. We feel like we can control our lives, and we do as much as possible, as much as we can to control our lives. And then the fear of not being able to control our lives is what stops us from trusting God. But if we really peel it back, there's not much about life that we can actually control. We can control what we do. and how we function. But the emotions that we have, we have a way of going through and dealing with them, but I don't know if we can control them. If we could, you could stop yourself from crying immediately, and I don't know that people can do that. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't. Something has to happen, a force, an action, something has to happen. And so it's the illusion of control. And so I don't have to have that illusion of control. I am fully capable and very happy to give the control over to, in my heart and in my mind and everything, with everything I know, someone who can actually control all of my world. As a matter of fact, the world. And I look back and I know that hope never left. Hope in God never left. Hope in people, yeah, that was kind of rocky. And even now, it's not hope in people that has me okay. It's still hope in God. It's restored hope in God. And because of hope in God, it's that, yes, hurt happens and life happens, and in life we get hurt, and in dealing with people in general, it doesn't even have to be a dating relationship. It can just be a friendship, dealing with friends or family. It could be a family relationship, dealing with family, dealing with people who have their own issues and their own fears and their own hopes or their own discouragement. Just dealing with people in general. At some point, it's going to affect us. And so it's how we deal with that and how we get beyond that and how we grow from that and how we make sure that the things that have happened to us don't prevent us from enjoying the things that will happen to us. And I look forward to the things that will happen to me and going forward. So yeah, it has been an awesome journey, and there have been plenty of tears and there have been plenty of smiles, and some of them were like smile until you can really smile, and some of them were like just smile because you feel like smiling. But today, I kid you not, it's all inside, and it's so much inside that it has no choice but to pop up and show up on my face. So thanks for stopping in. I hope to see you next week, same time, same place. So stay tuned and see you soon. Thanks for stopping at D's.